new team member, Nikhil Raj, joined our company. But seems like I can't actually see him in the meeting, even though he's saying that he joined. I have joined it, but somehow I can't see him. So we will actually cover our other topic. By the way, Nikhil, can you hear? I think I'm doing it right. He's sharing the screenshot, so it's just first time. Oh, says please wait. You have not yet joined. Joining it again. All right, until he joins, we'll actually have a 15-minute quick introduction, 1 minute to each team member. We'll try to do that in the other half of this meeting. So let's go to our other topic. Okay, so today, as you all know that we're trying to review all of our accounts, set up all of accounts based on 2019 PPC principles, which are simply based on focusing on just key and basic things, that is ensuring our concentration goes on the right thing, on correct thing, instead of trying to manage too many things. So on that principles, the first thing and the most important thing is absolutely thinking strategically. How do you think strategically from the start, so that you enjoy greater success for your client campaigns over time? So I actually realized that there could be three situations that can perhaps guide you how you can think strategically, how you can approach the strategy from the start. Oftentimes we get small businesses accounts, brands who have created their website a couple of years ago only, like 1-2 years ago. They have small history in Google Analytics, small data of 1-2 years. They may have a Google Ads account as well, but not any significant success or kind of a strong return on ad spend. But they have some sort of small data in Google Ads as well. Those are most number of clients we often get. At least in our current roster, we have such type of clients more, who have small history, because these guys, these business owners always start their marketing themselves. They would do this for 1-2 years, they would not find success, and then they would approach agency. So where we jump in is exactly after 1-2 years, where they have tried everything, they have very small history in Google Analytics. Now they hired us to help them get most out of their advertising dollar spent. So that's the number one situation most clients applies. And typically this is a situation where I think you can just take this as an example. The history might be of just 1,200 visitors per month in Google Analytics. A client has 10 transactions, revenue worth of merely $500. So this actually calculates e-commerce rate to 83%, 0.83%, below 1% conversion rate. I think data. Go ahead.
Your screen is not visible.
Really?
Yeah, for me as well.
Yes. Yeah, now it's
okay. Hold on. Seems like there was something wrong. Present to everyone. Okay. Can everyone see it?
Yeah.
Yes, now. Yep.
Nice. So data confidence is actually good here. You have some history, even though e-commerce rate is not good, very low revenue, 1,200% visitors. This is actually a good data confidence. This means you can learn from this data and can start your strategy in exactly these directions. Now I'm talking about the direction, the strategy that we need to think here, because this is actually a client which is having small history, small business, very tight budget. You cannot experiment much. You cannot be generous. You cannot just wait for like a couple of months of gathering data, throwing dollars. No, that's not going. That's not helping us as of now. So how you could approach this is, and this is actually one of my beloved recommendation, is start with retargeting first. In this situation, don't do new acquisitions until you actually hit 3-month mark with the retargeting campaign. So you would start with retargeting. Retargeting, I'm talking about doing retargeting on Google search, retargeting on shopping, retargeting through banners. Launch them initially. You have data confidence for good value. You have small visitors. You could still actually target these guys, 1,200 visitors. Your spend would be low, and that's what the very important is. Don't think about spend initially. We can convey this in our strategy to client that we will not going to be spending too much in initial 3 months. What we are thinking here is to establish a good return on ad spend. So run retargeting until 3-month period. See how the success is, and then on the 4th month onwards, launch new acquisition campaign. And you would actually then see overall progress in 4-5 month period, and you will actually then evaluate whether you should now proceed with increasing your spend or you need to revert certain campaigns. So I think by 6-month mark, you would have probably a very good direction, very good base here. You'll be starting with retargeting. You'll be having a very high chances of getting higher return on ad spend. Client might be happy with 3-month mark, and then you get next couple of months with focusing on launching new acquisition campaigns. Any question?
Yes. Now I'm able to see.
Okay. So basically, this is much easier said than done. So retargeting, so far, some of you actually run a dedicated RLSA campaigns. I know Vivek always runs separate RLSA campaigns, which is very good. Some of us use this RLSA audiences inside our existing campaigns. So just one campaign, we are targeting both new acquisition, new user, in other words, and retargeting audience both as well. But here in this case, you will absolutely have to start separate only RLSA campaign initially, which simply means you just your RLSA audience with targeting setting, not observation. So launch Google Shopping with RLSA. Think strategically here how you can even go into the roots of Google Shopping and target. One ad group could be all visitor, all products. One ad group could be all products, product viewer. One ad group could be dress product type, tops product type. So dress product type, you can target dress visitor audience. Tops product type, you can target tops visitor audience. Here you can probably, if you notice your product titles are not good, they are generic, you can use Google feed rule, merchant center feed rule, to put your keywords into title. Once your Google Shopping RLSA launch, then launch RDSA. RDSA is nothing but dynamic search ads targeting only retargeting users. Non-branded, standalone non-branded for RLSA. Keep in mind that your targeting must be targeting, not observation. And then dynamic remarketing or even static remarketing. You also need to think very, strategically here with client's business. Car burner would be most qualified users. So you would probably ask client if they could offer any good incentive to attract these users. If client are not offering, we need to force them. We actually need to force DP, pitching to client that they should offer a good incentive for certain reasons, because that helps people convert. Existing customers, now we don't often think about existing customer a lot, but existing customers are your lifetime value customer. they are easy to convert, and you can be a little bit creative here with cross selling and upselling. The easy features available in Facebook ads. You can actually launch a dynamic ad set, Facebook dynamic ad set, for cross selling, for upselling, all easily. But in Google AdWords also you can do the same. The only difference is you have to actually set certain audience and use the product type setting little bit creatively here in dynamic remarketing in order to cross sell, upsell. So if you base up your retargeting with these campaigns in month 1, you will have a very good chance to hit 4x or even more ROAS in month 2. Don't worry about volume. Don't think anything about like low volume or anything. If you are just spending $50 and bringing in 300, 400, that's enough to establish a very good trust between ourselves and clients. It's a far better than in the month 1 spending like $500 and not even delivering 400 or 300. That's even more worse situation. Month 3, obviously, this is perfect word example 4x, 6x. But if you are progressing with 2x, 3x, that's also fine. All what we are looking into here is a progress graph that we are trending with the good directions. Once you see that your campaign has established with 6x return on ad spend, then that's a very, very good time to go ahead with launching new acquisitions. And in new acquisitions, biggest key would be narrowing down your targeting. Again, we need to concentrate here. We only need to focus on narrowed geographic areas, narrowed days of the weeks, narrowed hours of the day, just the genders that matters, the ages that matters. Once you actually set your campaign with these basics, you can play with your beats. Smart Google Shopping, you can play with maximize conversion value without any bid limit. If it is not performing, then you can set bid limit. With standard Google Shopping, you can test out high bids, low bids in NCPC, or even you want to try target return on ad spend. That's also possible. Non-branded, very important. You don't need to pick thousands of keywords, not thousands, hundreds of keywords. Are kind of just pick up 1 to keyword per product. I'm saying here per product. That means we don't need to think about category, client categories that offers, and then setting up campaign based on category. Set a campaign based on top selling products, and just 1 to keyword. Spend time on picking up best quality keyword, 1 to keyword for each product. I'm sure each of client would not have more than 10 to 20, high selling products, unless if a client is enterprise level and they are doing big business. So in that strategy, even new acquisitions you are launching month 4 onwards, absolutely no place for dynamic search ad for new acquisitions. This is a very dangerous, and I want to just stop it. Until 6-month mark, or until you see pretty strong return from targeting in new acquisitions and you are looking good to spend more, then only think about running DSA. No brand awareness campaigns until 6 months, or once you establish a strong results. Brand awareness includes automatic display placements, managed display placements, YouTube. Those are actually brand awareness related campaigns. So that strategy somewhat actually establish probably a good path in this kind of situation when you have a little history and your data confidence is good. This could be a very good approach. Any question, suggestion, comments, thoughts? Okay, silence means no questions.
Ashok,
Mm-hmm.
I have one query. Actually, I noticed in past I have done a couple of non-branded campaigns with RLS only.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed, and the setting was only SERP. I did not select Google Display Network and all platforms to be appear on the ads. So I noticed that they didn't perform, and I had to pause them. So when we are going to launch non-branded campaign with RLSA only, so should we enable all possible networks where our ads will be appear?
No, your network should be just Google search. Uh, if we are talking about picking up campaign type setting, then they should always be like how you generally say campaign, even for new acquisitions. Non-branded, Google search, RDSA again, Google search. Google Shopping also goes on a Google search. Only Google Display Network is dynamic remarketing as a remarketing campaign. That actually runs on a display network, and your audience should be not added as observations. That means you are just adding them as your additional targeting, along with new acquisitions or new users you are trying to reach. Does this answer your question?
Yeah, yes, that's fine.
Now, if that is not performing, which might often be the case, if it is not performing, then it goes back to your first insights or first confidence level, the data confidence level. If it is having very good history, conversion, e-commerce conversion rate is close to 1% or 0.80%, this is a good data confidence. So this is why you have started this. So even if it is not performing, then you got to make it perform. And how you can do that? Either you have to further narrow targeting inside each of them. Again, those basic principles would still apply that Joel outline and narrowing targeting we discussed. You need to make it perform, and how you can narrow targeting. You can think, maybe you probably need to change your ads. You need to look into your keywords, search terms. Those basics still gets applied. But normally non-branded on RLSA, if you have picked the right keywords, right ads, your targeting is also good, they should perform, is what I think. They should perform for RLSA. Despite doing everything, if they don't perform, then obviously that's our rule number one. We need to only concentrate on things that perform. That doesn't mean that if nothing is performing, then there's you turn everything off and there's nothing left for concentration. No, we have to think hard here. We have to think strategically here. It all starts with your data confidence. If your data is not confident, if you don't have much sales history, and that's where I'm going to talk about the strategy direction number second, where you don't have anything to rely on. Your business is a fresh new website, no analytics, no AdWords. Here you have got to run new acquisition first. You cannot run retargeting. You could probably launch both together, but I think that will again make your concentration split into two areas. I would rather recommend you start with new acquisitions when you don't have anything. Run them for 2 months, keep spend low, then launch retargeting campaigns, and then see how your overall progress goes on. In these situations, your strategic thinking will be tested. Remember, since you don't have data, you have to pull out everything based on kickoff call notes, kickoff recording, or whatever you listen, based on your expertise, what have worked in the past, what have not. You have to really come up with strong campaigns for new acquisitions, and then you need to actually proceed with retargeting later on. This is a very challenging one, but if we could just concentrate on one thing at a time, we could probably perform far better than how we are doing at this point of time. In this situation, we don't have data. That means we have to get the data. And how you would get it? You get meaningful data and you need to ensure that, since client businesses budget, the market budget is tight, all eyes are looking for return. You have got to only focus on, the things, the keywords, campaigns that could actually bring sales for clients, or that have potential to bring something. The next directions in the last one, which is more a kind of like comfort zone, I can say, or maybe more convenient to, and this is something which will make you PPC feel love yourself, is deploying a direction where you have big adverse history, or very good established business, strong analytics numbers, strong AdWords data. This will simply make you your job one of the best job, unless you don't have worked PPC campaigns since a while. But we rarely find it. But that even though we have a couple of clients in this zone, so here you should go ahead with both new acquisitions and retargeting. But remember, what we need to do is we need to make them separate. Make them separate for clear-cut observation. And in 3-month mark, your spend should be according to progress. You should never be thinking spending their budget. What is our number one and the only goal is hitting return on ad spend. So at 4th, 5th mark, then you will again constantly evaluate the progress, and then we would decide the action items. Is there any other strategic direction that I have forgotten here to mention? Is there any other client situation that you guys have come across to which haven't come under the 3 strategic thinking or the directions I have outlined here?
Shok, so we still add a branded campaign there? Or did I miss the branded campaign?
Oh, yes. Branded, yeah. Actually, branded campaign, the reason I do not often talk about it is they always perform. So,
Okay.
they don't need any discussion at all. Just you have to set it up, low bits, low budget, and that's it. Forget it. Never even look into it. Just keep it watching if it is delivering the performance or not. Obviously, you need to ensure that your keywords are absolutely branded only. But that's a very low priority campaign. You should run it, but with very low budget and bits.
Yeah, Ashok, but we need to look after resellers. I mean, they bid on our branded campaign, and that's something that we need to look after.
Yeah, that's I guess very small job. You will probably look over time, and I don't think it will need optimization more often. Even we do it, a lot of clients don't like it because they think brand terms are their own proprietary traffic. And correct. No matter how good we try to convince them that this competitor is bidding on your term, they are pulling they will not going to understand it. Very rare cases. If the budget is too high and client don't mind spending big chunk of money for brand term. You have got to keep it monitoring. That's not I'm not ruling out that you have to completely forget it, but don't spend too much of your time. Normally, I launch a branded campaign. I'll just keep my eyes on its numbers. I'll never even go inside it and try to see what's happening.
I have a question related with DSA because yes, all this week we talk about that. And what happened if you have an account and DSA has a good performance? So also we still need to pause the campaign, or we can continue with that.
Okay, good question. That actually pushes me to talk about benchmark return on ad spend metrics. What are the benchmark return on ad spend that we should head into, or we should always use it, our base metric to think that whether it is performing well or not. So normally, remember, often I have reverted into return on ad spend, but ROI is the main goal. And I know most of us are already working on establishing ROI for clients like gross profit, not net profit. But I have reverted on return on ad spend term for a reason. Because normally the high ROI would automatically come if your return on ad spend is high. That's normal thing, and it's easy to understand. If you have to hit higher return on investment, you have to hit higher return on if you have to hit higher ROI, you have to simply hit higher return on ad spend. As simple as that. So I think the benchmark, which Gonzalo, you can probably look into whether you need to continue DSA in a performing case or not, is if your return on ad spend is anything above 6x, then I would perhaps keep that continue. If it is 6x to 8x, I see it a great return on ad spend. But if it is over 8x, then absolutely that's outstanding. If you are hitting 4x to 6x, then I would probably not. I'll lose my confidence. It is a dangerous campaign type and often hurts. So if it is 4x 6x, then I will probably recommend you to pause it. Anything red zone, obviously you never even think twice before taking a decision of pausing it.
I have a comment related with, because this morning I found those metrics in the spreadsheet, and I'm a bit disagree with those values, because I think are a bit slant or not totally objective, because not all the markets are the same and not all the industries are the same. For example, it's not the same sale a shirt than, for example, Fairman products. So I think maybe to sell a shirt, you can get, for example, a CPA around $10 or $30, but for example, for a big product, maybe you need to pay a CPA around 100. And I think now is not invalid if you pay 100 for a product around $1,000. So I don't know if you catch my point.
I don't think I could catch your point completely, but for all the business.
So what I try to say is, for example, if you pay 100 for a CPA, I don't know if it's good or not. I think it's depend industry, because once again, it's not the same.
But we haven't talked about CPA here. We are actually talking about return on ad spend.
CPA. No. I know, but the second table mentioned.
This is actually for lead generation clients.
Okay.
This is the reason I put it here is because we also have lead generation clients, right? For e-commerce client, you don't have to care about CPA.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot the.
No, it's in a small letter. The reason I put it in a small letter is because so that I can do good job with formatting. But this is actually this.
No, okay. That's why I say it's not the same if you sell shirts than if you sell just a big product.
This is also just a kind of a random benchmark. Obviously, it will not going to it will not going to be applicable in each and every accounts. But normally, anything over 100 on average basis normally is treated as a not a good CPA unless your business is a software business or you sell huge dollar services. So there it can vary, but mostly in lead generation clients like dentistry or legal businesses or plumber services, there anything over $100 is often worse CPA. You've got to think in that way. So poor CPA often $50 to 100. Anything between $30 to $50 is obviously something to look for. Good kind of decent CPA. You could make it below 10 to 30 is absolutely great, and anything less than $10 CPA is often treated as outstanding. Now, a few cases, NH Wash, Obviously, they sell a $1 million system to train and bus circuits. So their CPA, kind of over 100 is definitely not a bad CPA. So this benchmark, the reason I typed, showing it to you here, that often we are very generous in evaluating performance. If it is hitting 3x, 4x, we start thinking that it is delivering very good return on ad spend. No, if it is 4x to 6x, that's why I have put it as a decent return on ad spend. It's not a great, it's not even outstanding. You have to be very, very aggressive in evaluating your numbers. If you could just stick with lower numbers, you're never going to think about hitting higher tier return on ad spend. And as I said, in order to hit good ROI, we absolutely need to hit strong return on ad spend. All right, I think we are running a little bit out of time. So let's come back to our other part, 15 minutes. Do we have Nikhil in the call now? Okay, it's a name Sunil. Who is Sunil? Is that you, Nikhil, with the name Sunil?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but your name is surprisingly Sunil. Have you changed your name?
No.
I think until yesterday you were you was Nikhil. Not sure if you change it to Sunil.
I don't know why it is.
It's okay. It must be the different email address. Remember, whenever you work in CT, you work for CT, you have always use the official email ID for any kind of communications. This might have been accidental. Your other email or someone else's email would have been there.
Okay, maybe.
Cool. No